Welcome back, everyone. Dyno Bodie here, and today, back everyone. Dyno Bodie. Welcome back, everyone. Dyno Bodie here. Anyways, okay, that's enough of that. So yeah, Joe has been kind enough and gracious enough to allow us to do some testing here at his facility, and there you have it. Here we go. This is what we're going to try. We're going to try and see. Of course, this is all brought about because of Moto milk. Let me be clear here. I'm just trying to find the best oil. So far, Moto milk has really impressed me. I run it. The saws are faster. Whee! Right? Any conspiracy that you think is going on, it ain't there. So just chill. I figured that we would pit it against the known oils that people use on a regular basis. What we got first there, Joe?
Well, right here, we have our Stihl HP Ultra, and you said you're going to run this 50 to 1?
Yeah, because, I mean, that's the way people who use that stuff use it. Yep. They dump it out of the bottle into their can at the right ratio, and they recommend 50 to 1. So they don't get any leg up. We're going to test it the way that they want it ran, which is 50 to 1.
Yep. Then we have Echo Red Armor. Know a lot of people use this.
That's his standby right now. That's, yeah.
Clean, good running. The Amsoil Saber, which we're not running 100 to 1, are we?
No, we're not running 100 to 1. We're going to, everything except for the Stihl Ultra in this test right here with the 261 is going to be at 40 to 1. All right, because this is about, what really exists, what you're going to have in your saw and what is best. And nothing more than that. Right. And that the reason Saber was chose and not Dominator is because Saber supposed, as far as the company goes,
right,
that's for their outdoor power equipment.
Yep.
Right. Exactly. And so Dominator, that's supposed to be used. I know you can use it, and a lot of people do. a lot of quid pro quos here.
Right.
But it's supposed to be used in like snowmobiles, liquid cooled engines, things of that nature, right?
That's their high performance race oil.
Okay.
Dominator is the Amsoil race oil.
Oh, okay.
2-stroke race oil, where the Saber is what they formulated for outdoor power equipment.
Okay. All right. And then, of course, the new guy that I'm so impressed with, the Moto milk. And we're just going to see. The game plan is this has already been ran dry of fuel, and it will start out, we're going to go Moto milk first. There's a reason for this, and I'll explain it. But the way we do it, we run it completely dry, let the saw die so it sucks all the fuel through the carburetor and everything, and it's gone. Then we put the new fuel in, and we're going to let it idle for 3 or 4 minutes. We will do 1 pull on the dyno so that it sets in, right? Or so that it tunes itself in. And then from there, we'll do 3 consecutive good pulls, and we'll take our average from those 3 pulls.
Yep.
And so the reason I'm going with Moto milk first is the last time I ran Amsoil first and then Moto milk, and I think it skewed the results because what do we know about that Amsoil? Thick.
We do know. It's a little bit thicker, but that would also probably apply for the red armor.
Yeah, but it's not as thick as that. Okay. So that's,
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, it will apply to the red armor.
Right.
So, but yeah, this Moto milk is pretty thin.
Right.
And whenever I came behind the Amsoil with the Moto milk, off camera, we continued, me and Andy and Jake continued to run the saw, and it just felt like it kept waking up. And after I've had weeks to think about it, I'm thinking, it may be because the Amsoil is so dang thick that he really had to have a lot of extra time to wash it out. So we're really going to do the test in accordance with their thickness.
Right. All right. That works.
All right. All these bottles here. I don't know what you can pick up on the camera, but I got this from a Pilot gas station, and it's just 87 octane right out of the pump.
Crystal clear.
And it is, I mean, like I said, I don't know what you guys are picking up on the camera. It looks like water. I mean, it looks like water. And so I have my thoughts with that, but we're going to roll with it. We're going to roll with it. These right here are 16.9 ounce Pepsi bottles that I rinsed out every bottle individually, so there's no Pepsi in there. And then we filled this one right here up to that line. We're going to guess that that's 16 ounces. And everything else has the exact same 16 ounce from this bottle. And so, because you guys seem to think that we're all dirty, we're going to mix it on camera. And I will pause right here and reset the camera so we get a close-up of everything. And you can see that we're honestly mixing.
Just the tip.
Hey, you're not allowed to say stuff like that. Uh-oh, we had a drop. Right there. There it is. Okay. Oh, that's you can see that plenty good.
That's why.
All right, hey, quiet on the set.
Gotta be quiet. We gotta finish this. Great.
Okay, so here we are with the results, and I'll let Joe take it away from here. Tell it, yes.
Me, this
yes.
is your video.
Yeah, but you can explain what's going on a lot better.
Okay, so where are you gonna put it? Here? Here?
I'll probably just put it right over your face.
Boom.
Boom.
All right. So you'll be able to see on the screen that there was no ultra clear winner other than the HP Ultra put out a little bit better horsepower, peak power, but gave up a little bit of torque to the other ones. So we'll go through our list. As far as most horsepower to least, HP Ultra 50 to 1 put out 4.14 horse. And then number 2, Moto Milk 40 to 1 put out 4.08 horse. Number 3 was the Sabre 40 to 1, 4.06 horsepower. And then bringing up the rear was the Red Armor 40 to 1, 4.02 horsepower. Now from high to low, we're talking 2% or less peak horsepower. But if you notice and look at the torque numbers, the Moto Milk put up the best peak torque, and then the Sabre, and then HP Ultra and the Red Armor were right there, 0.01 different. And honestly, in the wood, you're not going to feel these 2% cut after cut after cut because the wood's not going to be that consistent. Right. The chain, everything else. So I guess that kind of puts it to,
yeah, it goes back to, yeah. So this is obviously difficult for me, right? But I'm all about the truth no matter what. And the original oil video that I did at this point, probably 2 years ago, run whatever the hell you want. You know, really find something that you like, that you can get that's in a store nearby you, run it. Because, yeah, we're looking at it. We did everything as fair as we possibly could. And the only outlier is the idea that the Stihl was ran at 50 to 1. No, we're not going to test it at 40 to 1. After doing these 4 right here, I looked at Joe and was like, well, you got Dominator. You want to test it while we're here? And he's like, no. And I'm with him because they're all so close. Who cares? I mean, now the temperature, I don't know what it was. It's hard to, because it doesn't work with the peak. Those numbers are moving. So I'll put those on the screens whenever we're doing our final run. So the saw is good and heated up fully, and you'll see the full run and what the heat is doing. But it really didn't seem like anything was any more or less than the other, really. And so, yeah, the placebo effect is legit. If you want to believe something is better and faster, it will be to you.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every time. Every time. And that's,
yeah.
like I said, I told you when we started this that, this might hurt.
Yeah. Yeah. And the dyno never fails to disappoint.
It is
for
good
darn sure.
And like I said, you can analyze these lines however you want, come up with your own conclusion. And like I said, it's probably going to line up with whatever oil you're running.
Yeah.
Just make sure the oil gets mixed with the gas and it gets in the right tank of the saw.
Yeah.
And you're going to be fine. Pick an oil you can get. They're all about the same.
Yeah, truly.
As far as performance goes.
Yeah.
Now, like I said, I run the Dominator just because I like what I've seen from all the teardowns. But, and it's not worth switching just for 1 or 2% at a certain RPM range.
Yeah, that's the thing. The Moto Milk came in strong, around the 7,500 RPM range.
Right. So, yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. But then it drops off at peak in comparison to the Stihl Ultra. So what are you going to do?
Right.
Change oil mid-cut?
Right. Yeah, and like I said, that we tried to keep everything as simple and fair as we could across the board. The Mtronic is still going to do Mtronic things, and that's just what we have.
Yeah, explain the little peak to them, so because people will think that was an oil thing.
Right. Yeah. So what we have, if you're looking at the graph, the pink line is our HP Ultra. You can see around the 11.5, 12,000. There is one strange peak that none of the others have. That was just simply the way that it was loaded on the dyno. It hit right there, but we did 3 run averages of everything. So that was just the way that one was wanting to load on the dyno, whether it's Mtronic, whether it's the way the water was in the dyno.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean anything.
No, that all averages out in the wash. If we cut them off at 10.4, it would still show these same exact numbers, same exact results.
Right.
But the only other thing you can see, like you mentioned with the Moto Milk, around that 7,000 to 8,000 range, you can see the green line is a little bit above all the rest. So maybe the friction modifiers are doing something at that type of load. And you
really might be able to feel that depending on the saw that you're running. Like with this little 261, it doesn't have much power anyways.
Yeah.
And so any little tiny thing, you might actually be able to feel it.
Yeah. And, if we took all the other lines off of this and just showed the Moto Milk run, it does show a little bit flatter from that 7,000 to the 10.5.
Yeah, it's a nice smooth, but
like I said, you will, and that is something that you will feel.
Yeah.
But when we're talking hard numbers, peak torque, peak horsepower, it doesn't show much different. Yeah. So that's where those feelings can get construed as massive power change.
Right.
When we actually measure it, it's not very much at all.
Yeah. So do what you want. Find an oil that you like, that has good reviews, and go for it.
Yep, exactly. Good oil, good gas, sharp chain, make some chips.
All right, everybody give a big thank you to Dyno Joe. Tell him he needs to get his butt in gear and start making more videos because we miss him. Yeah. But thank you very much, Joe, for letting me come here and test these out and everything, because honestly, I mean, in a way, it's just, I was about to say it's all for you, but no, it's all in the search for the truth. And the truth is, if you want to buy this and run it, buy it. If you want to buy this and run it, do it over and over.
Keep your warranty.
Yeah. If you want to keep your warranty and run this stuff, because this stuff's expensive, you know, it's really expensive. And it builds up carbon. We all know that, like bad, you know, but is it?
It works.
Yeah.
It works.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. Click that like button and thumbs up and stuff. Thanks, man.
Yep, no problem.
Okay, so what happened? Plain and simply, I don't know. I can't explain it. I literally cannot explain it. It's easy to look at this and just pass everything off as placebo effect. I wanted it to run right, and so it did run right. But whenever I originally tested the Moto Milk product, I thought it was all bullshit. Then I ran it, and I said, oh, wow, this is not all bullshit. So I wanted it to do poorly, if anything, at the beginning. And it didn't. It did well. It did very well. And love me or hate me, you have to admit that I've done a lot of this testing if you watch my channel. And I know how to make a saw get through the wood. And me being able to make up, what was it, 4 or 6 seconds in a cut because me not pushing more or less, no, it's not feasible. So there's something going on here that I can't put my thumb on, and I'm sure that you guys will be able to put your thumb on it. But because, you know, you're a keyboard warrior, so of course you're going to be able to figure this shit out. But I definitely will say that there is something going on that I cannot understand. And also, I wanted to bring it up too. Obviously, the temperature readings. You had 2 clear winners: the Stihl Ultra and the Moto Milk. So both of these situations, the Stihl Ultra was leading the pack. All right, that's a hard pill to swallow, but it was leading the pack. Probably because it was running at 50-1. More fuel will cool it off. If we had ran it at the exact same mixture as the rest of them, we certainly would have gotten different results. But I chose to run it at 50-1 because that's the way people who run that stuff run it. They get it. It's all pre-measured out for you to put right into your cans and everything. And so I figured that would be the best way to test it. I was not going into this aiming to make Moto Milk win. I was going into this aiming to see what's up and what's the truth of all this shit. Nothing else. If you think otherwise, then, well, you just don't know who I am. But anyways, the Moto Milk beat the Amsoil Saber and the Red Armor by a solid 10-degree difference. So it is running cooler. And there you have it. But as far as the power goes, it's just been consistently good in all of my testing. And you don't have to believe me. I don't care. I really don't. If you would like to purchase some of it, there's a link below and you can do your own testing on this product. And if you don't want to, then don't buy it. It's perfectly fine. But for me, I can tell you this. This is what I can say. I like it, and whenever I show up to a race, that will be in my saw until I find something that outperforms it. All right, which so far nothing has in the cut. And I will test it again in the future. I'm building a device to take the human element out, and we'll see where we go from here. But This is truth. This is what I bring to you. But I will say there's got to be more to it than that. There are things that a dyno cannot measure. What a dyno can measure for you is exactly how much downforce that chainsaw puts on a pressure sensor, and all of this is transferred into foot-pounds of torque, and you multiply it in a formula by RPM, and that gives you horsepower. That's what the dyno tells you. It doesn't tell you how easily that saw starts. It doesn't tell you how quickly it revs. It doesn't tell you how quickly it recovers after it's in a stumble. I definitely think there's more to this than what the dyno can tell us. But facts are facts, and that's what the dyno tells us. I look forward to seeing this Moto Milk in the wood up against some of the other competitors whenever I take the human element out, because I am searching for the truth. I am not trying to fool anyone. I genuinely like this Moto Milk, and I'm going to continue to use it whenever I go to a race. I guarantee that stuff's going to be in there. So that's how I feel about it. Later.